Mod Talks live again. Sorry for the technical difficulties we had there, but we got our guests on now, waiting in the room. Let a little few people just join in real quick. Give us a second here. I'm just gonna have a few. Share that stuff up again, you know. All right. All right, y'all. We got a few people back on. Again, sorry again for the technical difficulties. The first one, so stuff's always bound to happen. But our guests are in the house now. They're gonna be joining us, for our chat, for an interview with them. So first guest, we got as a main guest gonna be Khalil Dewey, the real Dewey on Instagram. Second one is X The Martian, at X _the Martian, at Instagram as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and invite them on right now. They're gonna be on the same screen. What's good, Khalil?
Yo, what's good, man? How you doing? And this is X. We having technical difficulties, but he's here with us, so we're not gonna leave no one out.
We out here still. That's all good.
Yeah, but yeah, yo, I'm good, Joey. What are you saying?
I'm not saying much, man. I'm here. I've been looking forward to this talk because I know you guys are real chill people, and we've already vibed before. So wanted to share that with everyone watching in too. So how about we start off, y'all? Introduce yourselves, kind of give a brief intro, like who you are, what you do.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, X, you want to go first?
Yeah, okay, so my name is I go by X The Martian, and artist in Toronto, trying to come up on some very lyrical content, but also, trying to dip my toes into other genres as well, and, be an artist that I would be proud to have discovered online after looking, for like hours and hours, but check this out, it ain't always going to be hours and hours, because it's an endless hustle, it's an endless grind, and just want to keep improving, want to keep coming to places like this where, we're with Mod Inc. They're hosting us. They're allowing artists to share their own personal stories and also share a bit of our dreams, a bit of our plans moving forward, and ways to make this thing where whereas we are artists, ways to make that a real thing, not just a dream.
100%, 100%.
Yes, sir. I can't say much different from him. Let's the fact that my name is Khalil. I'm an artist. I make music. And pretty much, I'm from like the west side of the city, but like far out west. Like X is a Martian, but he says I'm from the edge of existence, so I'm pretty far out here. So, but yeah, I'm an artist. I'm also, the founder, and X here is one of the two other co-founders of something we got going on recently called Two-Face Gemini Collective, TFGC. Anyone watching this, you can find us on Instagram at TFGC_official. We actually just started the account like today, so that shit's just going underway now. It's fresh. We don't have
That's fresh, everyone. Tap in. That's fresh.
Yeah, it's not even a post yet, but there will be some stuff coming up. And we're gonna be tapping in here with Joey within the next, several weeks and beyond that. And we're gonna have some dope content coming for y'all. So
absolutely. We've been talking about a lot, working on with each other, because what we're doing with Mod, we're doing events, Mod nights, trying to do it every other Friday, open mic series, and all sorts of other ones. So we got something in the works. I think everyone who kind of we could talk a little bit about it today too. But it's
Yeah.
something that's gonna be sick. It's gonna look
Yeah.
forward to.
No, it's gonna be dope for sure.
So, tell us a little bit about how'd you start off in this? What's your origin story like as an artist?
We can just rotate back and forth, X.
Yeah.
First this time. So essentially, how old am I now? I'm 25, so I'm old. Back in the day when I was in high school, I always kind of had these little urges to write, but I never really like kind of took advantage of it, or just kind of like would sit in my bed thinking like, oh, I could like write this or write that, but I never really like um came up with nothing serious or even wrote it down really. I remember one time it was either late high school or very very early like university, where I like got on GarageBand, like made a beat, and then I accidentally like deleted it, and I was like, yeah, after this I was like, fuck that. I was like, I'm done, like I'm not gonna try that again. um, but essentially, I was just like going through shit in my life personally, like especially when I went to school, and like a lot of shit about who I was, like kind of started to come to fruition. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to express those emotions because I feel like I wasn't dealing with it well. So I started writing, taking into consideration the music I was listening to, and just pretty much from there, about second year university, I was like, one day I was like, all right, I think I was looking after like I was house sitting my grandparents or something like that. And I was like, I was just finding beats or something, and I knew somebody from like school who was into making music, and I went on his website, or he had sent me a couple beats or something, and I was just writing music essentially. And it just kind of went from there. And over the course of the rest of my university, like I would say I was making music, but I wasn't like really making music. And then COVID hit, and I had actually dropped my first song several months before in a little EP, couple, month maybe after that. And then
Nice.
COVID hit, and I wrote an entire album, recorded it in my house and everything. It wasn't professionally done at all. So then, since then it's been removed and new stuff has been posted. But that's kind of really 2020 is where I say like when I really kind of took that first leap. And then within this last year, 12 months, 12 to like 18 months maybe, I've really been like applying pressure on myself personally to just like get music done, record, get it done properly. And yeah, and brought me here to today. I started going to open mics for the first time this summer. I went from being so nervous to trying to find every single open mic I can possibly find.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to meet X, and then our other brother in crime duo Santi, who couldn't be here for this interview unfortunately. And we just kind of linked up. We liked each other's vibes, and I brought an idea up to them one day about TFGC, and they're like, we're in. And now we're here today. So
Now we're here. That's sick though, because that's you started a little bit recently, you could say, like really putting the full throttle into it. But once you do and you start going to those open mics and everything, you start gaining momentum, right? And that's what kind
yeah,
of propels you forward, right?
no, 100%.
Yeah, man. So X, tell us about yourself, man. What's your origin? How the alien land on this planet?
Oh, the Martian. All right, so the Martian mysterious, the anonymous alien. So what I did back in high school, I feel like that's really where my love for the English language really like came up. I had this like crazy crush on my 11th grade English teacher, and it just motivated me. You got to be impressive. That was the first audience. We as artists, we go to these big audiences, we go to these big venues, and we're like, we got to make sure everybody, they love the tracks, they love the music, they love the character, the person behind everything on the mic. So
Mm-hmm.
we started there, impressing one person, and then from there, myself and Dual Santi, the homie, as Khalil's been talking about him, we started this thing in our high school called, Poetry Club. Put asterisks on that, because as much as we wrote poetry, as much as we wrote rhymes and lyrics, it got to a point where we just brought the PS2 into the room, and we had one of those old, when class wasn't going to be anything for the day, and Bill Nye the Science Guy came on, and like that big,
Yeah. When you heard the door open and the TV come through and everyone's hyped, they knew what's up.
that's what I mean. Those squeaky wheels coming down the hallway, bro. That was a weekly thing. We brought the PS2 through. We got some some Nightfire, some 007 Nightfire, some Ratchet and Clank, some Street Fighter, and that basically sums up.
No worries, no worries. Keep going, yeah.
I'm trying to set up.
Yeah, so that basically kind of summed up my beginnings of weaving pop culture, video games, content that I was taking in as a youth, and then transferring that into the English language. Because at the same time, you know, it wasn't like we were just running video games the whole time. We were packing inspirations as well. And from there, I went into the University of Windsor for English and Creative Writing.
Mm-hmm.
Started writing poetry, and in Scarborough, hip hop is everywhere. I started drawing these very, very tangible lines that nobody else was really telling me about, and finding these waves of assonance and consonants. Just a whole lot of sonic resonance within the words on the page of 17th, 18th, 19th century poets, 20th century poets, 20th century beat poets especially, and then bridging that into music. Eventually one day, Dual Sancti, he sent me a beat. It was in the middle of like 3 different papers and just a whole bunch of other bullshit.
Oh, did I end it?
Oh, it ended. Oh man.
No, my bad.
Yo, it happens. That technical difficulty. He's back.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that.
Oh, Bone, wait a minute. Hold on. No, my phone's bugging. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I have a little desk tripod stand.
That's perfect, though. That's perfect. Yo, you're gonna have to plug that in, bro. I saw that notification.
Yeah, don't worry, I got that. That's the next step here.
We're gonna have another. I know, right? But it's okay. It's late. Yeah. Everyone's in the chat. You know, no one minds, right?
Yeah, it's some comic relief.
Exactly. We keep going. This is the first Mod Talk session number 1. Everyone here, thank you so much for joining us. We got people from YouTube. We got people from Twitch as well. That's dope. That's so sick.
My bad. I felt like I interrupted him.
No. You know what? It's fine because it was getting into kind of the same thing you were talking about with meeting Duo and then TFCG, right? Oh, he's saying his phone's bugging. He's in the chat here on Twitch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
My bad, bro. My phone was bugging.
No worries, bro. That it was on Instagram, right? Yo, when you video chat on Instagram for too long, that happens.
Really? Oh man, it's okay. So we may have technical difficulties all night. It's all good.
It's okay, but we make it work. That's what all that matters, you know?
That's what I'm saying. But I guess the gist of my little story.
Okay, there, nice.
And I've been writing ever since. I fell in love with the craft. I fell in love with the poetics. I fell in love with the ability to convey, you know, the inner trappings of the self.
Mm-hmm.
Be vulnerable on the mic, but also kind of weave some super ill, slick shit in between. There's so much intermediary space when it comes to hip hop, where you can take the written craft, the written form, and be as tactical as you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there needs to be that sonic kind of vibration that taps into the soul of the person listening. So you not only have to balance being, you know, technically smart, technically kind of efficient, but you also need to have that dialogue with the beat. You need to connect with the beat, and at the end of the day, that beat and your lyrics, those become the connections that you form with people. And you know, if they vibe with what it is you're doing, then you know you're on the right path. And that's been one of the one of the things Khalil was saying over the past few months. We've gone from being fearful of the stage to eating the stage.
Mm-hmm.
This is really,
yeah.
And it came from that sense of creating that bond, that connection, and solidifying it, and knowing that, you know what, if I just come to the stage and if I be me, then everybody else around is going to connect with that, and they're going to see a side of themselves that'll be revealed through what it is we're doing. and that's truly a gift. That's truly a gift
100%.
for them.
Anytime you can connect with someone like that, it's always something special, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, what was it like your very first kind of performance, right? When you first got on that stage, what was that like for you? And I would add, is there anything you've learned, from that moment, right? Like what kind of have you learned from that moment? Like as in like from now, since for you first started performing, what are the things you've learned over time?
Oh, bet. Yeah, Khalil, I'll take this one super quick because I have mine like straight off the top.
Mm-hmm.
So the first open mic I jumped into was actually a competition at a church in like super deep Durham. It was, and there was a little cash prize at the end if you were like, if you were super sick with it. Myself, I'm actually not religious, but I ended up taking third place in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that all the judges were telling me were like, it feels like you have presence. You have this like willingness to engage with the audience, but yeah, just tighten up your bars and you're gonna be nice. And that was it. It was really just sharpen the blade. That's all you gotta do. Sharpen the
The
blade.
craft, hone that craft. That's what they're saying.
Exactly. Get your reps in, but like you're on the right path. And since then, it's been that. It doesn't matter. Like if it's a valley, if it's a peak of a mountain, it doesn't matter where you are today. Tomorrow, it'll be a new day and a new opportunity to prove yourself
Mm-hmm.
and grow, or drop for a bit and then grow even more after that. You know what I mean? It's all a progress and a procession. So yeah, that's what I
Absolutely.
think from my first experience.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny as fuck. X, you got the pastor as your first critic, busting your checks at the pastor. um, yo, so
That takes
for
God did
me,
to a whole new level,
yeah, exactly, yo. Martian did. Yeah. So fucking sorry, I was going. Okay, so your question, yeah. So performing. So honestly, it was kind of crazy, like, because I remember that I was going to this. I was with my girl, and she was like gonna be there with me, and I never performed before. Like, I never like. I know there's a lot of people who had never like sung before something, or they had never like um done, or like maybe they did dance, or like they did poetry, or they did something else where they had some sort of stage presence experience. And then I kind of remember that, like, on the way there I was going to OBJX. It was a Sunday. And I had learned that I remembered that I was in like a children's choir when I was a kid, and I was like, oh shit, so I have done this before, but it was such a long time ago, it was hard to connect, so I was still nervous. Like, I remember sitting there, like, kind of like taking like little hits of my joint and like little sips, because I didn't want to get too fucked up, but I was like nervous at the same time, trying to like chill myself out, because like you don't know how people are gonna judge you. And like OBJX is like like on Sundays, it's a really good environment, really supportive environment. So that was really helpful, but it was a different environment that I was like, necessarily used to for hip hop. And I did a song called Blame It On Us. And I remember that like my volume changes because I like had never like worked with a microphone like that before. So like it was it was different. Like I was screaming and then I'd be too quiet, and I was like, yo, I could feel myself, like every word I don't think I messed up at all, but like I felt it like the whole time. But honestly, what it taught me, because in the second performance I did like 3 days later, and the mic accent, or the music accident, cut off when I was like halfway through my second verse, and I just kept going, and I finished the rest of the verse, and like everybody like thought that was really dope. And I think what it taught me is that just to continue what you're doing, and it's almost kind of some sort of like simile or something like that for like the course of music. Like, you got to keep pushing through. Like, when you hit an obstacle, doesn't mean like you just throw your hands in the air. So for me, like, I definitely, for my first couple of performances, have learned The first thing is I talk a little bit of game at the beginning to get that sound check good if you didn't have the opportunity to do a sound check. And then the second thing is, if you make a mistake, because we all make mistakes, and like half the time the artist or the audience, sorry, doesn't even know that the artist made a mistake, or they don't really care. So it's like if you show it, it's gonna take the experience away. But if you just pretend as if it never happened, like people don't really catch it. So I think it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, like I was saying, it's just like keep going. So like, the first time for performing was, for me, that was at OBGX. So it was really nice because I had someone there with me to like say like good job and record it. And then I had a few people come up to me and say like, yo, that was great, like a great first set ever. So like, that was really good. And I think um part of that feeling is like what I'm trying to incorporate, and what X and Do and I are trying to incorporate with Two-Face Gemini Collective. It's about collectively like growing, whether it's not you're making music, you're involved in the music scene like you are, Joey, with your modding thing, or you're like taking photos, or you're a videographer, or you're a producer, engineer, whatever your purpose is. Like if you're some sort of creative in some way, shape, or form in the relative zone of this industry, like that experience I had at that first night is like something I'm trying to like recreate in my own way. And when X is trying to recreate in his own way, and Duo is trying to recreate in his own way. And that's a beautiful thing about it being like a collective, because you can do that collectively, but you can still achieve your own individual goals. So yeah, no, performing definitely has been like a big thing for me. Even though it's just small scale stuff, it's been huge because one of the questions they asked one week at OBJX when I went was like, what how did they word it? It was like, what's a valuable life lesson, or like what's something that's like I forget how they worded it, but essentially what my answer was like, is that not being like complacent. It was like, what because complacency is like allows you to get comfortable, and like if you're complacent, you that might be okay, but like you're never gonna push yourself to do something new. And I
Yeah.
felt like everybody who was at that room was being non-complacent, and I was kind of like, you almost have to become complacent with not being complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's like you're just got to get used to the fact that like if you want to move forward, you have to do that you're not used to doing. You know what I'm
You got to
saying?
get
Like things
comfortable
that are
being
uncomfortable
uncomfortable.
for you, things that are not in. Yeah, exactly. Being comfortable
Yes.
with being comfortable. So it was kind of like one of those things. So where performing has definitely taught me that like if you just that was probably one of the things in my life where I really was just like, I fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's not really a real consequence if this doesn't go well. But I think like uh feeling like that nerve of like, oh, are people gonna think I'm shit or something like that, made it feel
Mm-hmm.
like there was a real consequence. It was like a real first time experience where it was like a conscious adult like fuck decision, opposed to like, you do something stupid as a kid or something like that, and then you get hurt or you scrape your knees, like an actual adult conscious decision. And it was like, yeah, if you really try for something, or you really like okay, I'm gonna do this because I want to, and yeah, it's like it's scary or it's like uncomfortable, but you just do it, you realize like it's not that hard. Like you just
Mm-hmm.
do it, and you'll learn from whatever mistakes you made along that way. So
100%. So much
But
of
like,
life is
yo,
like
I mean,
a learning experience like that.
I've had performances. So, or no, it's like I've had performances that have gone poorly, in my opinion, and it's funny because even a loss turns out to be a W in the end, because every time I've had a bad performance at any venue, I've written it down. I've let it sit with me. I've woken up with it. I've woken up to thoughts of it. I've woken up to how I could have done it better. And that becomes like firewood or like kindling. And it stokes the flame for the next performance. And then suddenly it's, the ratio of bad to amazing performances becomes equal. But then there were already more good performances than there were bad performances prior.
Mm-hmm.
So suddenly the gap starts widening, and the bad performances become less and less consistent, and it's just amazing ones. And that odd time, I have that bad, I hop in, I lose one or two of my bars on stage. I'm like, oh my god, I'm a little, sweaty or nervous before. it just becomes ammunition for the next, and it just becomes more and more potent, powerful, and effective. And I'm seeing Joey with a smile across his face there. Joey's actually seen one of those performances where it was one of the days after I thought I messed up, and that was actually also at OBJX Studios. And I actually don't even really remember what happened on stage. I see the videos and I'm like, oh yes, I was there, but I was like a bull and somebody put like a red towel in front of me, and there was no reason not to give myself to the music because I trust the music.
Yeah.
You have to trust the music. It doesn't matter if you made music for a month, if you made music for years. It came from you. It comes from you. If you don't trust the music, the people won't trust you. So just give yourself to it. Right? That's what I tell myself in the mirror every time.
That's it, bro. Trust the music. That's what you're saying. That's perfect though, because like that's what you gotta trust the music and like also learn from every experience that you guys have been, right? Well, and take that as inspiration too, right? Every failure is inspiration for succeeding. Like I always say, like every failure is another step to success. That's the kind of mentality you gotta have. And like so I'm wondering too, like what other inspirations are there for you guys when you make your music, right? So that led you down this path, or just like with your sound too, right? Like what has inspired you in your journey here, or who particularly, if there's particular artists or people, right?
I think
Khalil talks about one big man very highly in terms of his business prospects, his versatility in the Toronto scene, his legacy. Khalil, share your views on this man.
Who? Jersey?
I mean,
I don't know who you're talking about. Who are you talking about here? I mean, I think it would be Jersey. But before I get into that, it's more or less, I started off as like trying to get emotions off of my chest. And then I realized when I went to university, what happens, I grew up in a very Caucasian town, and, being a mixed child, there's a lot of things that like, come with that. And even later in my adult life, I've been challenged by other people who look like me about those same things. So it's this constant like battle between who you are and what other people tell you. And at first, that was kind of the fuel behind my writing. But you can't write about the same problem over and over again. And eventually, new things come up in life. And sometimes, I sit back and question. I'm like, why is everything I write sometimes negative? Sometimes like there's happy things in life too, right? So you're trying to like come up with enjoyable things. And then I think I've always had a little bit of a passion for telling stories, but sometimes I get too lost in writing it or rambling on. I remember trying to do stuff in English class, but with music, like you got 3 minutes. You know what I mean? You got like 3-4 minutes. Like you don't have a lot of time. So it makes you concise. It makes you just like be straight to the point. So a lot of the time, I just like to come up with stories, especially for like the TFGC tape, where it's not like there's not a specific focus for the overall project. It's just fun to like, what type of story can I come up with? And you just think of like, yo, what would be entertaining? Like if I heard this, or like my man were to come with me, yo, did you hear this track? Like, what would I what would I listen to? So for inspiration, it's just like whatever you can pull. And other music, to be honest too, like, and that's when we go back into Jeezy. But like recently I've been trying to expand my horizons on the music I listen to. I listened to a lot of hip hop growing up, and I think part of it had to do with like me trying to like be like, no, this is who I am, when people are like, no, fuck you, this is who you are. And so I never expanded out to like other genres of music. And recently, specifically like rock, I've been getting a lot into. And like I'm not super deep into it, but like I love Nirvana, so like I listen to like Kurt Cobain's Genius, right? So I've been listening to him a lot, and just other artists like the Chili Peppers and stuff like that. And just like now that I'm starting to get more understanding of music and like how music works too, like just trying to get understandings of necessarily like, oh, like they did that was interesting on a music standpoint, and then just be like, yo, maybe I can like do something similar, or like put my own spin on it for rap with like this thing and this, right? And I just like come up with like different ideas. Or like the other thing is too that's really fun, I find, like if somebody comes to you with an idea or like a chorus or like a verse, is just like going from there. It's just like pick off from where they left off. Like, don't think about your own
Right.
thing. Like, if you're working together with them, type of thing. So we have a couple tracks like that, like on the TFGC tape, where it's kind of just like that's how, they're being formed. Um, and then definitely from the city, like all of us at the end of the day, all of us have to give it up to to the sixth guy like Drizzy, because none of us would be able to like get potentially look at our platform the way that we could potentially look at it without him doing what he's done. And I think a lot of people hate on him because for whatever reason. You can have your opinions on his artistry, like if you don't like it or not. But at the end of the day, he's a genius when it comes to music. Not only for what do you want to hear and listen to, but also on the terms of like just like the business side of it. Like if you actually listen to Jake, every single one of his projects, like studio projects, has his radio song hit, has his club hits, and then it's got his tracks for his album or for his like his bass, like his bass. And most people I don't think get that deep into it. They only get to probably the club hits. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So there's genius recognizing that. So I think just like when it comes to writing, it's like what makes something attractive? What makes me want to listen to something again? What's it called? It's on Netflix. It was Ti, Cardi B, and Chance the Rapper. They had that like artist.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, what was it called again? Next,
Rhythm and Flow.
yeah, Rhythm and
Rhythm
Flow.
and Flow. I love that, man.
Yeah,
That was such a sick show.
it was sick. I actually should check out see if they have any more seasons. I don't even know. It's been a minute because that came out during
Rhythm and
COVID.
Flow France, man. Fresh
Yeah, I
France.
heard the France one was good.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, I haven't heard that one. But yeah, so I remember when they went down to Atlanta and they had Quavo on as a guest, and like I'm a huge, for the trap side of music, I'm a huge like Migos or like the trap group. I kind of choose to like listen to
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Um, and Quavo is kind of like the chorus god. You know what I mean? And in terms of them, like he like a lot of their hit songs, he's the one that's running the chorus. But he was saying something. He's like, I don't. He like somebody would perform. He's like, yeah, it's good, but like I can't tell you one thing I could remember about your track.
Mm.
And that kind of hit me in a way because it's like your track, regardless of what you're talking about, you could be talking about like the dopest thing, the most ill thing, like the craziest story. Your lyricism could be off the wall. You could rhyme every word. You could be like, you know, the next MF Doom. Like you be him on on fucking crack. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But like if you can't retain somebody's attention for more than like 10 seconds, what does it mean? Like if they don't remember your song, let's just put it this way, like when you listen to a new album by an artist, if you like the album simply based off of if you remember the names of the songs.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
If you don't remember the names of any of the songs, you probably didn't enjoy that album that much. And that's not to say like that's not like a solid like line or anything like that where it's like that's like it's either that or not. But in general, like I can tell you that my favorite albums, like when I first listened to them, like I remember some of the tracks. Right?
And you know what? It's a sense where you said like the first 10 seconds are so crucial, right? It's like when you're listening to a new song, you almost know in that first 10 seconds whether you're gonna like this or not, right? Or within that
Yeah,
first 30
100%.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a video of Snoop Dogg saying that. He's like, you have 15 seconds. But if you don't catch their attention within 15, was it 15? You may have said 5. I don't know. Some very small, at least like very few amount of seconds. People have decided already. It's true. Especially if you're not like a serious music person, like if you're just there for the casual part of it, which is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you just listen to music, like, you're paying attention to what the first couple seconds are, and that determines. And there's this other guy on Netflix too called, I forget his name, but anyways, he ran something called the Patriot Act, and he has this one on hip hop, and he talks about how hip hop tracks today are, the average hip hop song is like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and he referenced Gucci Gang by Little Pump,
Yeah.
and it's like was amazed by that for me is that I used to work with somebody who was a couple years younger than me, and what would happen is like when we would go to like on lunch or something, and that person would play music, they would constantly switch the song after the first chorus, halfway through the first verse, like constantly switching the song. Like your song will come on that you maybe know you like, you're like, oh, you're vibing out, and then no, they switch it. They want the next thing. It's like short attention span. So when it comes to that like inspiration, it's not only just now like okay writing something to get it off your chest, but it's also like what's going to make this like replayable essentially, right? So it's playing into that narrative, and it makes it really hard. So when I'm making music, I'm definitely considering that, trying different flow patterns, trying different concepts, trying using inspirations from artists who have maybe, done a concept, and my concept is, similar to them, but it has my own personal spin on it. I have a couple tracks, I have a track right now that I'm working on. Hopefully I can get, recorded maybe this week or something. That's actually, very influenced by a J. Cole song, and the whole
Mm.
cadence of the track very similar, but the content, even though it's in the same round, very specific meaning that's separate from what he was talking about. So, and you know what I mean. So that there's influences there. It's just it comes from literally everywhere, man. Sometimes like I see something stupid happen on the side of the road, and just like, or like my girl said something to me, or like a friend said something to me, and you're just like, oh, there's an idea.
So you're
The
always, are
track I
you like
mentioned
writing
earlier,
bars
"Blame It
like
on Us." I had that.
you're writing bars like randomly and shit?
Um, I used to, but not like as much anymore. I kind of more am like very when I write, I write. When I don't write, I don't write. Sometimes if I come up with an idea or concept, I'll like do the voice memo thing, or I'll like write it down real
Mm-hmm.
quick, or like I'll more or less I'll write down a concept, especially if it's for an album. Um, Generally, if it's like a track that I want to like be a single or something, um, I usually base that off the cadence of the song. To be honest with you, like it's more or less like once I hear the instrumental.
I
But
see.
yeah.
So yo, X, can you go into that as well? Like your inspirations, kind of like what you kind of bring to your sound. And I know you got some concept stuff out there as well. Like the Matrix one, and I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah. So okay. So inspirations. There's a few different. I'm gonna quote writers, because yes, I guess those are my first teachers. So there's a poet named Bruce Meyer. I think he was a poet laureate at Berry. He told me one time, I never leave my notebook from 15 feet away from me. It's never further than 15 feet away from me. As soon as I get in, I mean, that included everything, man. This guy could have been like halfway in a lake fishing. He'd still have the book in the boat. And that's because life is everywhere, and hip hop is life, man. Like, there's always bars to be written. There's always something to be seen in a new way, in a different angle that you can present to somebody else's eyes. And a lot of times, it's something that people may have already seen themselves. They just didn't think of it in that way. You know what I mean? You can always reinvent. Not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but you can always repurpose the wheel to do something new and exciting. So there was that, and as well there was another writer. She held like a little seminar during my first year. So I mean, first year university, I was who knows. I will not say what I was doing, but I was not paying attention. So I sat in on one of her seminars, and she explained the importance of the drunken god and the sober accountant. And that's something that's resonated with me since. The drunken god is essentially the one who proceeds with no rules, who is total chaos, who inhabits the page and stains it in ink through ways that could not previously be conceived because it's just raw creation. And then the sober accountant, the one that comes through the next day and just cleans up the entire mess, makes it tight, makes it fit within what it needs to. And it's really a matter of just writing raw and then editing heavily, and then almost chiseling like a masterpiece out of that raw block of marble. And that's something that's been a massive inspiration to me, just as well. And then another friend of mine. See, these are like my three quotes that I've been holding on to as an artist. A friend of mine who goes by the name of Hotel Pablo as an artist, indie band, super funky punk. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We had a conversation one night when I think we were like 17, 18, and they were telling me, can never stop because everybody I've ever looked up to has started already. And I was like, what does that even mean? But bet, okay, I'm here. I'm here for this conversation. What do you
That's a
mean?
deep one.
And they're like, like all the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, everybody in that, I guess, in the indie field. I'm not too familiar with rock. Please don't hate me. I am getting there. I promise. I am getting there. I know my big names. I don't know the smaller names yet. I don't know the more niche, nuanced, and amazing names yet. But what they were telling me was basically all of these artists they've ever looked up to. They started when they were 15, 16, 17, 18, and they found their signature within years after that. And from there, they were able to share it with the world. So I've held on to that for a very long time because it doesn't matter if it's 2022, if it's 2018, if it's 2015. Everybody I've ever looked up to has already left their imprint on the world. They've already started. If I want to amount to anything equivalent or, surpassing in that regard, then I have to treat every day as if I'm playing catch up. And until I get to that point where I surpass my idols, I meet the icons that have shaped me, and I can work with them to create a new generation of artists that are doing crazier and wilder things than I could even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Until I get to that day, then I'm still playing catch up. And it keeps me hungry. It keeps me relentlessly a critic of my own work, and also someone who can't afford to stop because it's just seared into my brain. But yeah, I guess those are like philosophical inspirations. Very briefly, I guess my hip hop inspirations: MF Doom, Joey, Pro Era, the whole Beast Coast, man. They were
Right here.
killing waves. You know what I mean? Mick Jenkins, Denzel Curry, a whole bunch of guys that were just killing it in like the early to mid 2010s, Earl, Childish Gambino. And that opened the door for going back to Gangstar, Jay-Z, Nas, Diggable Planets, Arrested Development, Common, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, and as I'm thinking of names, man, it's like a freestyle. I just stopped thinking about a particular name, and then all the names just started coming. But yeah, inspiration, some real laid back and raw, slick hip hop, man. That's it.
I guess I didn't give my artist inspirations. Like I said, Drake, Migos, but that's more of like a favorite listen. But Eminem actually, a lot of people find that surprising.
Slim
I
Shady up in there.
Yeah, I think I related to him a lot when I was in high school and stuff because he was the odd one out, and I always felt like the odd one out. Logic, for sure.
Logic for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Gates, that's another big one. Somebody else I listen to a lot. Yeah, like I listen to a lot of people, but like those guys definitely for sure listen to a lot coming out. Eminem, Drake, Kevin Gates, Logic. I didn't listen to like or J. Cole, obviously, Cole's a huge influence for me.
It's a cold world. It's a cold world out there.
Yeah, it is. So, and then as I start to dive more into the older stuff, probably I'd probably say Biggie on the sense that like he's like just melodic as hell, and I just think like it's just so smooth to listen to. Pac is nice to listen to. I even reference him in one of my tracks, but I've never been a huge political rap person. I like more of like the personal stories about stuff or using the politics to tell a personal story. But yeah.
That's it's a lot of inspirations, and I'm sure it comes out in your music. Like how would you describe, if you had to put it in a genre, like your music right now, and how has the sound evolved or changed from when you first started, making stuff, right?
Shit. You want to go first, X? Or you want me to go?
I mean, I got a little something on the fly here. Freeform, flow-based hip hop.
Mm.
I've tried to define it as boom bap, and I've explained it to people as boom bap in the past, like new wave boom bap or indie hip hop, alternative hip hop. That doesn't even feel right because it doesn't feel like it's indie or alternative to me. It feels like the raw roots of what it is I grew up in listening to. So it's a funny question, but I would say free form flow based hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dialogue with the beat, regardless of what the beat is. I'm gonna have something to say to it, and it's gonna have something to say back to me, and we're gonna have that conversation. And it may not always be the prettiest conversation. It may not be one I want to share with other people, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna have it just to see what it is I can contribute to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, very broadly, yeah.
Yeah,
Freeform flow based.
I would say probably like lyrical or more conscious like trap, to be honest with you.
Right.
One thing I learned when I was back in school was that when what's the word I'm looking for? When professionals are trying to like write a peer-reviewed article and then their peers are trying to like, either comment on it, be like, this is like, like, no, you're wrong, or like, I agree. There's, regardless of what they're trying to do, is that they're always trying to find what they call a gap in the literature. Essentially, like
Mm-hmm.
talk about something in a field of study that hasn't been discussed before. And so for me, when I looked at rap, it's like I love the old stuff. I love the boom bap. I love the '90s stuff. It's the roots. It's what made everything. But I like what I hear today. It's a lot what I listen to today. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that it's like what was one thing that's true to hip hop is that it's always come from a place. And again, like referencing that thing on Netflix, the Patriot Act, it comes from a place of like where you're trying to come up from something, and it's given like a reason to like fight, a reason to
Mm-hmm.
like say, yo, like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Communicate, talk, be a form of like rebellion against like, someone who's trying to push you down. And whether that's like the bully next door, um it's more powerful people, it's whatever it is, societal pressures. Like my girl, she was taking a course last year. She had to read something for school where it was about this girl who actually felt that, even though growing up, I think she grew up in the Bronx or Queens or something like that, but even though the misogyny within the society and even within rap music, it actually taught her to be able to stand up to it. So the catcalling and stuff like that gave her that like, that sharp edge, that like, like don't fuck with me type of edge, because like it taught her like, I gotta be me. And I think that's something for me that I idolize in hip hop, and probably because of like why I got into it to begin with, like trying to find like reasons for stuff and find answers to emotions or whatever it was. So for me, it's like I don't think anything's wrong with changing a sound. Everything develops over time. You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, I would say conscious trap, because it came to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk some shit over some new. That's like, And actually, when I first started, a lot of my beats were really guitar melodies. Like that was like the main melody instrumental. So
That's it.
I thought that was interesting. So I've changed from that quite a bit now. Um, I pretty much like a mix of everything really. Um, Boom bap tracks to trap tracks to drill tracks to like a mix of both. Whatever I can, honestly, whatever I feel like fits the cadence of what it is I'm trying to do.
That's
But it's
sick though,
conscious.
because it sounds like you bring like a combo of the old and the new together, right? And it's kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of like it's people are so averse to change, you know what I mean? And that's why a lot of the older hip hop heads, especially in hip hop, the genre, because it's such a versatile, like it's so easy to experiment with hip hop, and it's the most popular genre
Mm-hmm.
out there right now. So there is a lot more experimenting going on. People are seeing more and
Yeah.
more of the change, right? And at a faster pace. So that's why these older heads, or not even that much older heads, are still reluctant to get with the new wave, is because of that, aversion to change in life in general. A lot of people have, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing too is just like a lot of time, like the content matter. Like it's okay. That's the biggest critic. But you make a good point. Like the old heads, like, oh, I like old hip hop better. It's like, what do you like better about it? it's like nothing has really changed too much about the content. Nothing has really changed. You still have your artists who talk about the same superficial stuff, and you still have your artists that don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not different, it's just different sounds. So
That's facts.
I think that's just a way to kind of like almost criminalize it in a way. Be like, yeah, it's still bad. You know what I mean? Try to take the real power away from it. Be like, because that's what people said when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is this music? It's bad. You know what I mean? And now it's like, oh, I like the old stuff. Okay, but like the old stuff when I was coming out, what'd you say then? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, no, trying to come up with like that new, like just something new, something different to the ears.
Something
But
that's
like,
you know,
it
that's the
still has
thing.
those rudimentary. Yeah.
So yo,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
about you know,
I
you
think it froze
mentioned.
a little bit.
Oh, did I freeze? I'm good now. Yeah.
Uh, you're cutting up quite a bit. Hold up. I don't know if that's my internet or if it's yours. Probably mine.
It's
Well,
coming through all right on my end. But yo, I was just gonna say this might be a good time now to, you know, maybe if you could share your screen.
yeah, sorry. Well, I'm gonna do things on my Wi-Fi right now. Hold up, though. Actually, you know what?
Oh,
One
that's
second.
so true.
Give me 1 sec here.
Hey, the technical difficulties don't stop, eh?
I put this back on. I put this back on my data because like, oh shit, I put this on my data. So, yo,
Yo.
okay, I can kind of hear you, but your video's still frozen. I didn't catch. Okay,
Video's
there you go.
frozen.
There
And
you
you
go.
can
Okay, I
hear
didn't.
me still?
Yeah.
Well, what
I
I
put
was
X
saying was
on.
on data. I heard it's coming all right on this end, but I guess it's coming on to your end a little iffy.
Yeah, I got bad Wi-Fi in my like where I am right now.
It,
I'm getting it
it
upgraded.
is what it is.
Anyways, yeah. But
So
anyways, I put my
yo,
phone on data, so
yeah, well, you know, like if you need to put it back, you know, it's all good. But like I was just gonna say, now might be a good time to maybe show the people a little bit of, you know, your music. You know, if you got anything you want to share. Did you want to perform something real quick, or just put something on YouTube or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, I could give you a chat. I could perform something live.
Okay.
Let me just give me like a second here, and I'll set something up.
100%. 100%.
Oh, Chicky's all right. Well, we got a little bit of time as he's setting that up. I can do a little acapella verse.
Yo, I was gonna say you should do some acapella. Oh shoot, your audio isn't coming. Oh, there we go. It's better now. Wait, no, X, I can't hear anything from you right now. All right, guys, they're just setting it up. It's gonna be ready in a bit. Then we're gonna get some live performances from Khalil and X The Martian. You guys, you gotta stick around for this one. Honestly, like this one's gonna be hype. This is live. This is underground right now. This is the type of shit you don't heard these tracks before, or maybe they are already released. But either way, you know you don't want to miss out on this, guys. This is it. This is it. Step up from the podcast we did before. Live performances now, live on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. We restreaming up here. Okay.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool. I will put wait, X talk.
It was good. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1.
That's perfect.
You can hear that.
Oh, bless up.
Okay, guys, we got a few more people came in right at the perfect timing as well. We're just about to do some live performances with Khalil, X The Martian. So X, why don't you go first right there real quick and give us some acapella, you know, spit some bars for us.
Okay, all right. Check this out. So I was doing a little bit before. You see the ball shaped head top. You can see the sun from this bitch, right? All right. So I've gotten called every name under the sun. They call me Mr. Clean. They call me Ang, but really, as of late, with the knuckles, bro, they call me Mr. One Punch Man, and I am the Mr. Mr. Silly Saitama, one punchy line, load of flow. Then I got your blunt fist, go to glow, cup the shaking maracas, shake it, shadow cuff you up to your collars, epidermal shaman soft, lacking layers of knowledge, and I'm just Apollo's arrow for bold, fantastically fighting doom, molding craft as invisible, the critical hits, the thing I wield, the culture municipal, composing verbal storms while they sing about umbrellas, I'm raining the Rockefellers and wicked bellas, my tongue sharper than a blade, but for me it acapellas and mellows, then it beacon novellas. Whoo! Second school in the studios. My calling side effects beat a bootios. Like I was on my dinner. Unless it's Fruity Loops, then everyone's away is come check on the old ticket slip down, mushroom theme spy. Oh, I wonder, where do I deliver? Yo, I said I wonder, where will I deliver? And I'm so glad it's at Mod Talks, yo. Bless up.
Okay, Mod Talks, that's perfect. Bro, thank you so much for sharing that, man. Came in with the bars, the acapella bars, came cut clean.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Of course. Okay, Khalil, let's see what you got, man. Are you performing a track up
Yeah.
there's a name? Yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna perform a track, but I just gotta set this little thing up. It's wanting to fall over on me.
Yo, whisper me sweet nothings, homie. You look like you're about to like a rom-com or something.
A second here. Let me
Yo, guys in the chat, what'd you think of those bars that X just spit right now? If you caught that, let him know. Let him know.
Respects.
X was okay.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, 1 second.
Oh, you got a nice little reverb on that.
There's some reverb. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it all set up. Don't worry. I'll give you something great. Hold up.
Okay.
All right. Let's get it. I've been chilling on another level, way too high for the devil. Let him change, I won't ever. I came through looking hella embezzle, trying to make my mind shine, working on my mental. I won't ever feather, cause I'm heavy with the shit. Just check the wrist, check my cup of rinse, check the leaf it twisted. They ain't with it, they gon' swear they love you just to try and see if they can control who you're trying to be. I don't want your love if your love ain't free. I be on my own, I be doing me, I be doing me. Honestly, I'm just trying to find my peace, sipping till I cannot think, puffing till I fall asleep. I'm just doing me, and under here I never freeze, and that's my neck, wrist and cup with me. I be doing me, I be doing me, I be doing me. Used to run from myself, but now I stay true to me. Cruising 3. Oh, fuck.
That was good though. Oh my god.
What happened to it? I went out. Oh, okay, hold up. It was saying it's there's too much on it. 1 second.
That was going hard though. That was sick.
Yeah.
That was nice, bro.
I had too much audio overload on my shit. Hold up. Let me use the buffer size a bit.
I don't want your love if your love ain't free. Okay. See, we got some fire emojis in the chat as well already.
I'll finish it. Hold up 1 second. My neck, wrist and cup with me. I be doing me. I be doing me. I be doing me. Used to run from myself, but now I stay true to me. It's purity when you learn to empty out their thoughts like vacancy. They can see what I think internally. When I see life in front of me, I'm trying to be something they can't ever understand, like how the higher be. And that's the key when I hop on beat, no social media. me. Yeah, oh, not a people please, just a real nigga. Blunt how I speak. Yeah, so turn up the speakers, cause I got the reasons for niggas to believe. How do you really feel now, bruh? Thought it was a waste of love. Now I'm with sky highs, real looking up. You motherfucking subliminal. What you got is minimal compared to my mind state. Looking really yo, luck really tough, just luck. Really ain't enough. I'm working like a run. So when I spit it real, I'm keeping it blunt. You thinking I'm dumb for doing what I love, but going want a piece when I finally get gum. I predict what I write. I don't care, son. I know I got the juice. Sipping Capri Sun. Purple with the news. Don't hand my fake love. So I keep it humming like a nun. Never fucking with niggas, bruh. They ain't with it. They gon' swear they love you just to try and see if they can control who you trying to be. I don't want your love if your love ain't free. I'll be on my own. I'll be doing me. I'll be doing me. Honestly, I'm just trying to find my peace. Sip it till I cannot think. Puffing till I fall asleep. I'm just doing me. And under heat, I never freeze. And that's my neck. Wrist and cup with me. I'll be doing me. I'll be doing me. I be rolling lately, I be trolling, too much Henny, I cannot see, I cannot breathe. It's like I need uplifting. So I'm telling me that's a fair trade. I ain't losing when there's less for choosing. Cause it used to be 2+3 in the way when we was cruising. Times is changing, no complaining. Plus my baby got the bass. So niggas really wanna play with your name. Talk on this shit, try to make it feel okay. There's two sides to a story. The boy cries wolf and the wolf who prays. I'm a wolf in the game, new king of the north. Catch me in the snow, I'm not a grizzly, I don't hibernate. So when I hunt, I got this energy inside of me. Tell me, do your own thing for the niggas that be tripping. Smoke all your plans and fly away. Now I'm cocking the hits, ice hockey. Grinning every day, never giving away. Trying out the hate, it's a trilogy. Loving them, even when they hate and fun in the pace. That's the full thing. I came along with it's all full circle. Got a little stress, so don't ask about my cup, cause you know it's mostly purple. They ain't with it, they gon' swear they love you just to try and see if they can control who you're trying to be. I don't want your love if your love ain't free. I be on my own, I be doing me, I be doing me. Honestly, I'm just trying to find my peace, sipping till I cannot think, puffing till I fall asleep. Always doing me, and under here I never. And then wrist cup with me, I be doing me, I be doing me.
Woo!
Yeah, so that one is called let me pause that real quick. That one is called IB, that released in like December of 2021 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was been out for a bit. I do have to say we do have plenty of music on the way that's got that same vibe, got different vibes as a TFGC collective. So I will say, with all that being said, that we got lots coming. So stay tuned. It's gonna be lit. We're all gonna try and we don't have a date yet exactly. We're working on that. We're gonna get that back to you, Joey, real quick about that album. But once that comes back out, once that date comes in, we'll start showing off some songs, release a single, maybe get a video or something going for y'all so y'all can like really tap in with us. Plus, we're all gonna have our own individual projects. I'm telling the guys all on the team, guys and gals, that make sure you have at least a single or some drop. So when we drop all together TFGC, it's gonna be one crazy shit, because not only are you gonna get a collective track with TFGC artists, other artists in the scene from the Toronto area that have been doing their thing for a minute and like putting pressure down, but then we're also gonna have our own individual tracks, probably with mad features from like each other on it still. So I know I'm personally trying to have a small like maybe like 5 to 7 track EP with people I've been working with throughout the last like year and a bit, and then have my own like full length LP album to release sometime within maybe not like right away when the TFC track drops, but with a couple months, so that there'll be plenty of new content, and that one's gonna be a masterpiece. So
100%. That Two-Face Genesis. Someone just commented on some Wu shit. Like you guys are on that Wu-Tang shit for sure.
Yeah.
That's sick though. So new music coming out, events and stuff in the works as well, trying to get out there as well, right? It's a lot coming from you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, just give me 2 seconds. Let me reconnect my mic there to my other setup. 1 second.
So X, tell us a little bit about when with the bars you just wrote right now, right? Like, what was your process coming up with that, and the songs that you put out there too?
Yo, hold up. 2 seconds. 2 seconds before
Okay,
you
okay,
respond to
okay.
that.
You're muted. You're muted still. Okay, wait, you back? I got it all, man. All the hand signs, all the jutsus. I had a book back in the day with the Naruto one, and it had like the everything in it,
There you go.
some cards and stuff too, and it had all the hand signs. So I just I made my own thing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry, no, so I have like 2 mic stands, one I use for recording and then like kind of a mobile one if I want to do something like this or like do any sort of little performance so that I can like be mobile with it. So I have to have like 2 stands and like 2 clip mounts and like 2 3-pin cables so I can XLR cables. So
That's good. That's good. So yeah, yo, I was saying X. So like with your bars, right? Like, what was that like writing that? What was your process like? Is that something you've recorded? I was also gonna ask specifically to you guys, like, what's your process like in the when you're in the studio? A lot of people experience it differently. Some are in there, it's all business. Some are in there, it's all a party, right? So what's it like for you guys when you're making music?
So I mean, like that jam right there, that was actually one of the homies in Windsor. I'm actually going to be going performing with Dual Santi in Windsor September 30th with the homie Nick Hildenbrand, Jinkies, Talking Violets, Meander Garden, a whole bunch of like multi-genre artists. We're going to be performing out there September 30th. So if y'all are interested in that, tap in. But Nikki, he actually made the beat. And he sent that over my way. Originally, he laid, I think the first verse off Juicy over the beat that I actually recorded that to. He put, he had like a very lo-fi beat. And he just dropped Biggie's verse on that. And he's like, yo, do you think you could kind of write something on that beat? And so that acapella I just spat for y'all, that was initially what I wrote to that beat. A lot of times when it comes to the tracks and the process, it's I live in the track. It has to be on repeat for at least like 2-3 hours. I gotta give a piece of my day to the track and just let it wash over me. I know, Joey, you've seen me cook a verse on the spot.
100%, yeah. Loud Studio, shout out.
Yo, Loud. Shouts out to Loud. The Wednesdays, man. Open booth. Y'all gotta tap in.
yeah, we also. Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt real quick. We also have a big session on there Sunday too, so look out for the TFGC Instagram account. For some content about that. So it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, but every time I cook a verse, it's a lot of it's literary, man. A lot of it's literary. I look, and I feel where the beat wants me to go, and that's just being in the stew. Like I love mossing out. I love talking. I love chilling. I love being able to have the beat as my main focus, and have it as something in the background that I just live with, like a track in a video game or something. It's my OST. And then eventually I get back to it and I write something and I commit. Really, it's a sense of committing to a feeling, committing to a bar, committing to what it is this track wants you to do, and then just giving yourself to it. Because I mean, like, my philosophy of freestyle, at the very least, the less you think, the better. The more you just surrender yourself to what it is that's being presented to you. Because everybody's capable of communication. Everybody's capable of being able to convey something of themselves. When you have the beat in front of you and you let yourself do that, a lot of times what you get from that beat is something that's honest and evocative of the self. And I feel like that's a way that you have to talk. That's how we all need to talk to each other. So shit, why not put it in the music too? So that long and short of my process on the stew.
Okay.
I have to say that X is probably like the way he like formats his music and the way he writes. You know, like you said, he didn't go to school for writing, but it's something to see. You know, if he could live stream writing a studio session with him, I would suggest he would do that because it's interesting, especially with how lyrical and how much he like uses different like words and like prefixes and suffixes, and he'll know all the technical terminology about it, but you know, to just make shit work together and just rhyme is very very interesting. And he always calls me the mathematician, even though I'm trash at math, because I like focus a lot on the structure when I write.
Mm.
So for me, especially going to like open booth settings or just like, right on the spot type of settings, even if I'm at my own crib, just like here, I'm at the desk recording, if it's for something that's not really a focused piece of art, like it's kind of just like the feeling as he's referring to, it's kind of like I come up with some sort of like structure, like bar structure, and then I just fill the structure with words, really. And that's how I write quicker in those situations. But for me, at the like I got two kind of like things. Like I record a lot of my music at home because most studios do stuff post processing anyway. So as long as you have a clean take, you don't really necessarily need to go to the studio. But there's an environment there that's different at the studio. So I would say I don't really have no ritual or like way of being when I'm there. Um, I don't like to create sort of like standard procedures for that type of stuff because it is creativity. And creativity has to be relatively loose in a way. It can't be a structured thing. Um, and that seems a little bit contradicting what I just said. But what I mean as in like I'm not gonna like every time I'm not gonna get high as shit or drunk as shit. Like, it's the same thing with performing. Like, I just kind of go with whatever that day is. You know what I mean? If people are rolling up, I'm gonna roll up a bit. Maybe if I feel like if I don't, then I won't. If people are drinking, I'll drink. So,
You go off
um,
the vibes and energies and the kind of the flow of things, right?
yeah, and just honestly, where I'm sitting personally, like, maybe if I'm like, if I've had like a rough day, it might be one of those
Hmm.
days where sometimes you come home and you like, yo, I want to have like a quick like beer, or, like I want to have a quick smoke, or like maybe you don't. You know what I mean? So it's like I just roll with that situation itself. And then in terms of like the actual music part of it, for me, like I said, I try to focus on bar structures so that I can kind of just pull out whatever I need to in terms of words and come up with something. And it makes it fun for me because it's like trying new things, but at the same time, I have to say like what's influenced me a lot to like kind of change that up, or like, and I did it the other day with a track that X and I are working on for the tape. It's gonna be called "Do It Again," and I wrote this thing out, and I was kind of like thinking about it, and I talked to my man who's really deep in music theory, and he's all like there's like ABC that you could probably correct, and I was like, like let me try to just rewrite it, and I just rewrote it, but I took more of a like a lucid, like kind of loose feeling to it, not like trying to make it structured, just so you know. And I have to give that up to like X and Duo because like they've been putting me on like vibes that I haven't typically been in. So like that's the one, and that's why I said the greatest thing about going to the studio is that an environment's created, and it's usually different every single time. And when you work within that environment, I think you really push yourself to like new things, and that's
And
what's fun.
I would say it's the same even when you have like a collective like the guys what you guys are starting, right? It's like you feed off each other's energy, you help each other grow, and you push each other, right? And that's you need other people to do that because it's hard to do it all on your own all the time, right?
Yeah, writer's block comes to everyone, no matter how good or bad of a writer you are. And that's the other thing too is like sometimes it just doesn't come. We were in a session like 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago or last week? I can't remember. But anyways, it was the Labor Day Monday, the day before everything, like all school and everything went back, and yeah, like I just couldn't come up with anything that day, and it's
Hmm.
just like, but it was okay because I took on other like roles within the session because we were hosting it, and that's just okay. Like sometimes like creativity comes in its waves. You know what I mean? So yeah, but being in the stew is definitely fun. But definitely when it's a party vibe, it's a party vibe, and it's like you just fucking turn it up. But when it's a more serious vibe, then you take that too, right? So X and I, like, we tried something real cool the other day at one of those lab sessions. We went like back and forth, They only had one mic, so it made it a little more difficult. But like, something new that we tried that was like really interesting, right? So, there's plenty to be done. So
That's like you guys are experimenting, kind of trying out those new things, right? And seeing how like you can kind of synergize with each other in ways that like you can with other artists, right? Because it's always different person to person.
yeah, 100%, because everybody has a slightly like, and it's interesting even within like other groups that we see. You can see like what type of artists, there's groups of artists that do their thing within the bigger group, and certain artists have certain sounds, and certain artists like they excel in certain ways. Or after starting to see the same artist over and over again, you see like they'll do like maybe a cover, they'll do a new track, and like they've tried to push their voice and like they haven't perfected it yet, but the track they did prior, the track they did last week was like A-list. You're like, oh shit, like you really hit that. But it's just like, so it's always a different outcome because of the what you're trying to produce from it, and the environment 100% affects that.
So I wanted to ask some fun questions I always put on when I do these podcasts. First one live, so this should be fun, and anyone in the in the chats too can put in your answer. So one question I'd like to ask is, if you could be any food, right? Whether it's a single ingredient or a meal or a full dish, what would you be and why?
Pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah, because then everyone gonna want me.
That's a good one. That's a good one. What kind of toppings though? What kind of pizza are you?
Shit, yo! Recently, I've been on that Canadian grind, so like the pepperoni, bacon, and mushroom. Yeah, it's pretty much been like my go-to recently. Me and my girl, like when we get pizza. I'm actually pretty like pretty like straight line when it comes to pizza. Like I don't like. I mean, the biggest thing is I don't like pineapple in general. So like, don't throw no Hawaiian my way. Or else,
You trying to get tropical with the pizza, eh?
I don't like I'll have like a pineapple like a smoothie with like pineapple in it, but like actually eating pineapple itself, I don't like it. I don't know why.
So X, what about you? What would you say?
Bro, I've been racking my brain. I really thought something would stand out to me, and the best I got was fucking Pop Rocks, fam.
Pop Rocks. Okay, that I've never heard that one before. Why Pop Rocks?
I don't know, man. Stimulate your senses, fam. I know it's for 5 gum, but I mean, the same shit applies.
Yeah, you could have made that go so bad, like so dirty. You could have made it so so crazy.
Yo, the bad Pop Rocks commercial. Yo,
Pop Rocks though, cause you rocking it, bro. You rocking it.
Even like Pop Rocks, I melting your mouth.
Man, so comment, yeah, this guy's like cheese because it goes with everything. I know you just saying that because I don't like cheese.
Cheese. You don't like cheese?
It's like it's weird though. I don't like it with most things, but I like it with some things. Like on pizza, of course. Pizza.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Mac and cheese, you can't go wrong. Lasagna, you can't go wrong. But like cheese on a burger is not for me.
What? Yo,
fuck, yo. You draw the line in very weird places.
Yeah, yo. That's like all in the same things what you just said, like mac and cheese, like maybe lasagna is more like a home meal, but still like the other ones.
I know it's weird. There's no sense to it. It's more just my taste, like.
Oh, so if you fry up some like scrambled eggs, like you put cheese in them?
Nah.
Yo, you're missing out, man.
I've tried it. That's the thing. It's like sometimes it's just too cheesy, or if I've had it before without cheese, I won't feel like it again.
I got a question for you. What's the weirdest thing someone's ever introduced you to for like food wise?
Food wise,
that you ended up like liking at the end of it.
Honestly, I would say originally I never really liked sushi. I was not always kind of versus sushi, and then I tried it. An ex of mine had me try it, and then we kept going, and like it just I started loving it. Yeah.
Sushi. If you say you don't like raw fish, you childish. I'll just say that right now. Sushi is great. It's like the best thing ever, and it's healthy as fuck too.
So many enemies just now.
Yeah, probably, but it's okay.
Also, oysters. I never thought I'd really like them, and I still kind of I'm iffy about them. Like I can only eat like a little bit at a time, but like I don't know, they hit the spot depending on the occasion.
No, yeah, for real. I mean, I'm a huge seafood person, so like when it comes to something from the sea, I'll probably try it. Like, I may not like it, but I'll definitely try it if I haven't had it before. Yeah, nah. Have you ever tried shawarma pizza?
Yo, pizza? No,
Yo,
shawarma
it's
pizza.
wild. Okay, my girl at our student house last year, we're sitting there, balling up and everything. Someone ordered a shawarma pizza, and it's like late. You've been like, drinking, getting indulgent for a couple hours, and fucking someone brings food around you, right? You're just like, and they're like, yeah, you can have some. You're like, thank you, Lord. Like, you know what I mean? And then so I had a bite of this thing. I was like kind of skeptical of it though, because I'm like, shawarma pizza, like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's just like a topping on bread, right? So it's probably not gonna be that bad. But I can tell you though, it was definitely something that I enjoyed. It was really good. You should get
That's
that shit.
interesting. That's super. That's almost like wait. So it was pizza ingredients in a shawarma wrap, or it was like shawarma ingredients on a pizza,
Yeah, shawarma ingredients on a pizza.
lettuce and all.
Definitely, like that's an item that only belongs to a joint that's open at like 3 to 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah, that's like a you're drunk enough to experiment type of deal, you know?
Yeah, but yo, it was exactly. It's never something I would try. I've been like, no, that's trash. I'll just get something normal. But like, I got it, or somebody else got it. And I had a piece or two, and I was like, yo, okay, this is actually worth it. It's like, I think they have mozzarella cheese on it instead, and then they put like the shawarma sauce, and then I think they put like, I forget. I think they maybe put like, I don't know if they put chicken or if they put like some sort of like beef or something on it, like something like that. I don't know, but it was good. I mean, I don't even know where it came from, to be honest. Like, I know it came
Someone,
from a pizza place, but like,
someone in the chat's like that pizza is bomb. I think that's the bomb emoji. I think.
yeah, no, it's some good stuff for real.
Okay, that's super interesting. Okay, there's another fun question I like to ask. If you could be any fictional creature, right, from any movie, any show, a book, anime, manga, whatever it might be, what would you be? So like not a person really, but like a creature, you know, like an animal, monster type thing. Think myth, fairy tales, everything.
Shit. I don't know, yo. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to like sit on that for a second.
You got one next, you know?
Hold on. I'm
Creature?
trying to see if this isn't like a historical reference or a mythological reference.
Creature, fam. I don't know.
I'll say my answer is always I'll say a dragon, bro. Like I'd be a dragon, you
Oh,
know?
okay.
Like
Okay.
yeah, something like that. Could be something like that. Something like a monster, you know what I mean? Like dragons are, you know, lofty,
Yeah.
flying up in the sky, doing their own thing, you know. Can't
What
really
about
fuck
someone
with
that
them.
actually like? I don't know. Okay, yeah, Dragon's a good one. That's a good one. I think you took my answer. I'm
Ah.
gonna come up with another one though.
I was from the Chronicles of Narnia. That's it. I'll take that one.
Try to do Arslan?
Let's go lion, just like pulling up.
Aslan, right?
Like the fucking Avatar.
Yeah,
and
yo.
then, just do lion shit and like direct.
That's a good one. So you're trying to be Aslan from Chronicles of Narnia? You know he's technically Jesus. He's supposed to be Jesus.
Well, fuck. Well,
That's the whole thing behind it, you know?
couple lines there.
Yeah. Jeez. Fuck, man, you got me stumped. I have no idea.
Okay, so if it's not a creature, then if it was like a person, right, or like something like that, does something come to mind? Whatever's the first thing that kind of pops in your head.
I don't know. I was kind of thinking like I don't know if you ever watched like DC, like the cartoons, like when you was a kid, like the Superman, like Green Lantern, Flash, all that.
Right.
Like I remember like there was always those like Martian guys.
Yeah, the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
Guy.
those guys always seem cool to me. So maybe something like that because they always seem like...
they're pretty dope. If you actually look at Martian Manhunter is stronger, if not as strong as Superman. You know? With everything.
Yeah. I just never I haven't watched that in a minute, yo. It's been so much time.
Those older ones, the
wave come through. We need more Martians.
we do. That's dope. Yeah, those are pretty good answers though, honestly. Like so Martian Manhunter and Aslan from Chronicles of Narnia. That's dope. Yo, guys, so honestly, it's been like a really sick chat with you both. I've enjoyed having you on here. Very first session, Mod Talks live on Twitch and YouTube. We've had a pretty consistent, like, good amount of people come in, you know, like I'm happy with that. Tuning in at least for the whole time. So like one last thing I want to ask is like, what advice you got out there for other independent music artists, people that just starting off like you were, or just maybe at the same level of you? What would you tell them? What would you want to put out there?
First off, is like I said, like a while back, is get complacent with being with not being complacent. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Put yourself out there, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Go to events, meet people. I would like to say I'm kind of an extroverted person, but interesting enough, like I actually like don't kind of like throw myself, like when I go to an event, I'm not the person that just could walk up to people and start dapping people up. I'm more kind of reserved in that. But go and do it. I'm still learning, but go and do it. Meet people. That's literally why we're here right now. Meeting people and making connections. Keep doing what you're doing and improve. And there's two things with that, is that you have to understand that if something that you really want to do, is that people in your life are gonna start to like really they change up on you, and it's hard. It's like a legitimate thing. Like when you try to do something that's against status quo, like that's not go get your education, go work a 9 to 5, and get your white picket fence home. And not saying there's anything wrong with that, because there's not. But like and not to not go get educated. Like I did an undergrad, and I'm actually back in school for a graduate program for 10 months right now, but I'm still doing this thing. Keep doing it, and be able to take constructive criticism. But then the other thing is like stay true to like yourself. And it seems like very superficial, but as in like don't change it up because like someone else is like saying do this because like that's what they would rather do. It's the same thing as people who stop talking to you or like change up on you or act differently because like you're doing what you want to do. Yeah, you just gotta push through and just like actually keep doing it and make connections, and you'll find personal feats within yourself. Like you achieve things, and it's not might be money or 1,000 bajillion followers right off the first day or anything like that. But it will be making connections. It will be making a product that you are satisfied with, and it will be recognizing that you're getting better and that you're doing new things and meeting people and just accomplishing things in life that you wouldn't have accomplished before. And then I guess the last thing I really have to say is take your time to do your projects. And it's not something like I'm learning to do too. The end user doesn't know how many hours you put in, doesn't know how many times you rewrote it, doesn't know how many times you did a take, doesn't know how many, they don't know any of that. All they know is if it sounds good or not at the end. So make it sound good or not at the end. Right. And I think that's a big misconception. It's really, what word am I trying to use here? It's a big miscontraception. Is that the right
Misconstrued,
word?
like.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I'm shot for words right now, but it's there's this idea out here that I rap like you gotta like do it raw instantaneously and like just leave and that's it. Like you walk in, you spit your shit 10 minutes in, and you leave. That's not how it works. Like get it, like do it until you get it right. You know what I mean? And keep doing it until you get it right. And once it's right, then release it.
100%. Repetition is key. You gotta keep working on it until you finally find there's something there worth it, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's legitimacy.
So X, what about you? What would you tell people out there?
I mean, along the same lines of what Khalil was saying, I guess I could share like a quick anecdote. So how I met Khalil was actually at an open booth at Loud Studios. I mean, that goes to say, I mean, just go outside, meet people, tap into conversations, tap into common elements, because we spend so much of our lives ignoring the things that bring us all together. Like you don't think like you hop on a bus or you're walking across an intersection and you don't have common, you don't have something in common with everybody that's following you. Like just there are things that connect all of us. It's just up to each other and up to how much we really want to find those connections. And so yeah, how I actually met Khalil at Loud Studios was, everybody, it was one of the first days, so it was like super packed. And a whole bunch of people were talking about like Outcast by the side door. There were the engineers, producers up front. There were a couple other people having another conversation. And then Khalil was just sitting on the couch, and he was writing his bars on his phone. And it was one of those like web of fate moments where it was like, well, who am I gonna talk to at this very moment? Because I love Outkast. I could very well get sucked into a conversation for hours about their method, their technique, how they made their music, their passions. I mean, even now I'm droning into it, but it was either that, go chill with the producers, the engineers, go have other conversations, or tap into the writer's corner, see what's going on. And you know what? This is somebody who is also looking at this room and is saying, you know what? I think the best use of my time is putting it into the music. The reason that I came here, I'll have time afterwards. And that's what, that's always it. You're going to have time afterwards. If something means enough to you, if you're willing to grind on that like no sleep lifestyle, that 4 hours of sleep lifestyle, that oh shit, did that even make sense lifestyle, that I can't believe you're awake right now, I can't believe you're still doing this, I can't believe even after all of this you're still pushing, I can't believe that it hasn't happened yet, I can't believe that you're making it happen. And then focus into those ones that you truly do believe in. You truly do believe that you can make a difference if you care, if you put in that time, you put in that effort, and your sole purpose is to make something of it, then all is attainable. It has to be. These are the people that, everybody that we look up to, they've done it with that mentality. Maybe even not with that mentality. Maybe I just got the mentality from how they presented themselves and how they just kept pushing. So, in a sense, keep pushing. Find the writer's corner if you are the writer. Find the photographer's corner. Find the eye. Find the tap into the sense. Stimulate your senses. Yeah. Tap into the people that can help you do that. And yeah, all things are attainable.
And then let's get Smokey one take happen, and then went from there.
That's history. That's history from there. But that's sick, you guys. Honestly, like those points are great. Like, put yourself out there, and tap into your people. The people you can connect with, because at the end of the day, it's a people business, right? It is as much as you are, creating something for other people. You're also in the back end connecting with other people and helping each other grow, right? And get to where everyone's trying to get to, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, yo, boys, Khalil X, thank you again so much for coming on the very first Mod Talk session number 1. This has been an awesome interview, awesome live stream. Again, thanks again. If you can kind of just tell everybody, where can they find you? Anything else coming out you want to just do a quick news update or anything like that about?
Yes, X, you go first.
Okay, so you can catch me at X The Martian on all platforms. Maybe not SoundCloud, I'm still tapping into that. But yeah, catch me at X The Martian. I got a couple foundational tracks, but for working on getting a very consistent release schedule planned. If you want to follow or tap into that, really, I'm doing all the shows right now, getting the content out there, and then, creating that itch, when's the release date, fam? That's what I'm doing right now. So,
yes, sir.
at X_the_Martian, tap in, and then Khalil, I'll let you do the big grand reveal.
Yeah, so, first for me personally, you can find me on all platforms. On music platforms as Khalil, so Khalill, I think it's written right there. On Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, whatever next thing you want on YouTube, whatever it is still. My SoundCloud's a little fucked up with the last album drop, so excuse me there. I haven't just had time to focus on it and fix it yet because I've been doing so much other things. In terms of Instagram, you can find me at The Real Dewey, so TheRealDuey. Tap in my last album, Call Me Dewey, and you'll understand where the Dewey part comes from. Same thing with TikTok, except I think the exact same thing on TikTok. And then not only they follow us there, but on some real shit, like we've started this collective artist group called Two Face Gemini Collective, TFGC, and we're pretty much an artist collective spanning across the city of Toronto and also into the GTA areas. Essentially, we're looking for artist creatives, and that doesn't mean music, just like anything, videographers, if you just do graphic design, if you do spoken word. Like, I got great ideas for our project and tape, and essentially we're going to be creating a platform, a place where not only can you come and grow yourself, but you can come and learn about music and yourself, and like be part of something that's just bigger than you. And we're working towards this tape, and it's going to be hot, and once it drops, everybody that's on it is going to be pushing um is going to be pushing it, and it's going to blow up. So it's going to be a good thing. It's about positive vibes, about growing together. It's definitely still in the groundworks, but within the next month or so, maybe even less time, you're going to see a lot more. So I literally just started the Instagram account today for it. We don't even have a proper profile picture, so excuse that, but you can find that at TFGC_official, TFGC_official. Please go and follow. If you don't follow me personally or follow X personally, please go follow that account at minimum. We will be starting to post stuff within the next week or so about events that we have coming up. And then more to look forward with your man here himself, Joey with Mod Inc. We are in the process behind the scenes when we're not doing these fun things for you guys on these interviews. Working for events, and we're hoping for some stuff to come up by October time. So stay tapped into that. Either he'll be promoting it or we'll be promoting it. Most likely both of us will be. And yeah, it's gonna be some crazy shit because we got some real cool for y'all. I'm gonna keep that secret for now, but it's gonna be a different thing. And when it comes out, I think everyone's gonna want to tap in. So please come and tap in with Two Face Gemini Collective. It's gonna be something big. And if, like I said, if you're an artist, you know, anything, we're looking for other sorts of people. Even if you're into like marketing and stuff like that, some sort of creative, please hit my line on my DMs, and we can talk, maybe set up a meeting. We're looking for people who want to be involved in the process. And artists yourself, rappers, producers, singers, songwriters, engineers, etc. DJs, please also tap in with us. We're gonna be starting hosting events and we want people to be part of that. And the other thing is too, like for instance, we have a open not an open booth, we have a studio session this Sunday, and we're it's kind of an exclusive event, but it's non-exclusive in the sense that, like, if you hit my line and we talk and maybe I hear some of your music, we want you to come through, because essentially what we're gonna do is that once we get our ball moving, we're gonna be hosting these events at studios. We may even have our own spot depending on how some things work out, but and we're just gonna essentially like bring artists through, see what they can cook up. If they're producers, some maybe we cook them up something. We can talk about the more intimate details and pricing, but then hopefully the goal is to be able to promote that session for you and help you promote that track or whatever. Just you being there, so you get something out of it just besides a track. And then if we, like, as a collective, kind of fuck with your shit, we're gonna invite you to come out to the smaller open mic events and like represent with us as TFGC, and then just grow from there. And then if it gets to the point where we want you to be part of the team, then we go from there. Obviously it is a little bit of an exclusive group, but we're about bringing everyone together. So the whole TFGC community is anybody who wants to be part of it. You essentially just got to tap in. Yeah, so we're working on that stuff right now, website and everything with all our events and our artists and everything like that. But it's gonna be a good thing. I'm rambling on, but yeah, follow us on Instagram.
Absolutely. Everybody, like they just said, tap into TFGC, tap into Khalil, tap into X The Martian. Dope creatives out here in Toronto, local area. If you're in the Toronto, GTA, Durham, whatever areas, tap into Two Face Gemini Collective. They're going to be, releasing tapes, putting out events there. We got our own event that we're chopping up together too. It's unlike anything you've seen. Literally, guys, you have not seen anything like what we got planned in the works. Probably coming in the next month or so. So everybody, again, thanks so much for joining in. This is Mod Talks, where we have live interviews with music artists, creators, professionals, locally in our space, as well as anyone online, internationally too. Just creating that space for people to showcase who they really are to the world. Join us every Monday, 6 p.m. like you did today. we won't have as many technical difficulties. Hopefully, you know, like moving forward, we'll sort that stuff out. But appreciate everyone who tuned in.
Work up.
Exactly. All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you.
wonderful day.
Moddings, everybody. Mod Talks. Word up. Big up.
Talks, TFGC. All right, guys. Have a good one. That's a wrap. Peace.